If you're a solo musician, one of the big problems that you have is equipment setup wherever you go and actually transporting your equipment to the gig. So I thought I'd make a little video on how I have managed to get around that particular problem with wires all over the place. So we'll show you. My existing setup consists obviously of microphone. I go into an Ashton mixer which has a number of different channels on it. I then go into a mega amp, and I also take a small practice amp which is also connected. One of the problems that I found was all this spaghetti junction of cable, and because I work primarily with an aged care facility, though I go there once a month, whenever they set up their little hall, people have to come by with walkers and other sorts of, wheelchairs and what's not, and they invariably come that close to where you're going to perform that you end up with a bit of a safety issue. So I researched the matter and I came up with the wireless transmitters and receivers, which I will show you. But this is basically the setup that I have at the moment, and we'll see what differences there might be. I'm not going to perform on this, but just to let you know, this is now the sound that comes out of the existing setup, and I actually have the volumes turned down, but it might give you an idea of what we're about to try and compare. If we look closely at what my current setup is, I have microphone coming through to this channel here on this Ashton speaker, Ashton mixer. I then have the guitar input, and then I have two outputs, one of which goes to large speaker and the other one goes to the small practice amp. Now this is just a personal preference for me. After many years of practice in my garage and doing little gigs for these people, I found that I've managed to actually set everything up with the settings that I want. If you can see, there's marks all over my speaker, and there is also marks all over my mixer, and this is what we're trying to get rid of, all of these cables that you see here. So I then looked at firstly the Airbridge transmitters and receivers for guitar, and I tried them for a couple of weeks and then said yes, they were okay, but it still did not get me out of the problem of a couple of cables, because I wanted to try and get rid of the mixer and everything else. So the first thing I got was these. These are Airbridge or Muss Lady, and we put the receiver in this end and the guitar receiver in the back end of the guitar. Can you see that? Yes, I think. I'll turn it. This is very hard for me to do this. Hang on, I'm going to put the video on the GoPro on a stand. Okay, hopefully you can see that now. It's just switch that on and you get that green flashing light, and what we're doing is we're going to pair it with the receiver. When that light stops flashing, it means that they're both paired, and we can then turn on, so you can hear that there is an appreciable volume depending on how far up you turn the knobs, of course. My guitar needs a tune. So that was okay, but you can see now, if I turn this around, we've managed to get rid of the mixer. Now, to my ear, I don't think I've actually lost very much, but I've also managed to get rid of all the cables. The only thing, of course, is I do not have a microphone, and what I was doing was putting the microphone cable into this speaker independently, and that was okay. However, there is another solution. I bought these NUX B4 wireless microphone system, 2.4 gigahertz, and they arrived yesterday, and I've been playing around with them ever since. So we'll unbox them and I'll show you how they work. Like the Mus Lady, they come complete with a receiver and a transmitter. This is the receiver, which I can now plug into my speaker. Got to get that one out the way. One thing that they did advise and said, some of these other proprietary brands of equipment may cause a lot of interference, and when I first tried it, it certainly did. However, we overcame that. Now the next thing that happens is this is the transmitter, and that goes into the base of the microphone, which is here. Now I'll just do that because... So that is the unit there, and that's all there is. And I'm now going to do exactly the same thing, and that is you pair the two up. So you switch on the transmitter and then you come back and you switch on the receiver. So first of all, there's a power switch here, I believe. Hang on, I've got to find the power switch. Oh, it's around the other side. Here it is. So we put it on, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channels on this. We'll turn this one on, if I can find it, down here. So that goes on, and so we have there. Now, when that blue light and that blue light come on, the thing is paired. And if I go away over here, away from it, first of all I have to turn the speaker on. So we'll turn the speakers, and the only cable that I have now is this one, linking my practice amp around the back to the output on my mega speaker. So we'll turn both on, and we actually have sound. Now that is also controlled. I can control this by turning the mute on the mic, and then we have nothing. So great, now we have sound. Are the two things compatible? Let's find out. Yep, I've turned both on. Sorry, this is going to be an absolute dog's breakfast of a video. Now we have both. So we've now overcome the problem of all of the wires, and I can now even get up and move around if I want to. So that's how that system works, and now I've done away with 3 or 4 different cables. Of course you still have to plug in your amps, but you can put the power cables for those right out of the road, and it doesn't matter. So I think this is a pretty good system. So, hope that was informative. Thank you for watching.